My client is a 22-year-old male college student who is experiencing trouble focusing and angry outbursts. He recently moved home with his parents and has been having difficulty navigating his relationship with his mom. He also currently started a new job, but has still been worrying about paying for school. He was referred to a social worker by his mom, who noticed his decline in his academic performance. A theory that helps me understand this client is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT suggests that his emotional reactions, such as anger and difficulty focusing, can possibly be linked to stress-related thoughts about failure, finances, and family conflict. I will be using the skills of questioning, putting the client's feelings into words, holding to focus, and partializing client concerns. Hi James, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, it's good to see you. How have you been?
Been alright.
Just alright?
Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, I just moved home about 2 weeks ago now. My mom and dad and all my animals and stuff, but yeah, it's just been alright.
Why did you move home?
Well, I just finished up my undergrad, but I'm off by a semester, so kind of saving up this spring, hoping to get an apartment. But yeah, I just don't have the money to have to get into an apartment right now, so home was kind of the only option.
Yeah. So you just moved home 2 weeks ago, and did you end school, or?
I finished up my grad program, or my undergrad program, but I'm going back for grad school.
That's great. You must be so excited.
Yep. Just trying to kind of tick my boxes, get what I need to get done. No.
Yeah. You don't sound that very excited. You sound like you're just trying to check off a list.
Yeah, I mean, school is school. I'm not stoked for it, but
yeah.
Get a job, retire. It's the plan.
That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good plan. So you moved home 2 weeks ago, graduated. Sounds like there's a lot going on in your life. Would you agree?
There was, but now it's just kind of like working, filling in time in between working, and yeah.
And what else have you been doing? What do you do when you fill in your time?
Just the gym, play some video games, try and hang out with my friends, but they're kind of at school, so I understand they're kind of busy. Yeah, pretty much it.
Do you hang out with your parents at all?
I kind of feel like I already see them enough, honestly.
Yeah.
That, like, there's no time to, like, set aside intentional time with them. But, yeah, we'll, like, hit up a dinner or something like that every now and then.
Is that something that you want to do, like set intentional time with them?
I feel like when I was at school, it's something that I tried to do. And then now that I am home, it's kind of like, sounds horrible, but kind of like already sick of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you say sick of them?
It's just kind of weird that I'm a full adult in the household now, and like, they're still my parents, and it's under their roof and everything. There isn't necessarily like conflict or one big thing, but it's just kind of like a juxtaposition of I was under their house and their rules before, and now we're in this weird scenario where I'm an adult, but still under their roof, but not necessarily under their rules because I'm my own autonomous.
So it sounds like you've been feeling kind of out of place at home. Would you agree with that?
Not necessarily out of place, but just kind of like, it's the same but different.
Same but different, out of place?
It's the same exact like house and everything.
Okay.
But like I feel that it's still my home and everything, but it's just kind of like from a different perspective.
Because you're a little bit older now?
Yeah, it's just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it sounds like you moving home and all these things changing, and maybe some distance between your friends, and like you said, closer proximity with your parents, and kind of leading to some frustrations, would you say?
Yeah, I guess frustrations would be a good way to put it.
And where do you think these frustrations come out most?
I feel like my mom is very strong-headed, and I think I get my strong-headedness from her, so it kind of came around to bite her in the ass that she instilled all this stuff in me. Of just like the little things of like, gotta have the last word, gotta be right, and my dad is kind of just, he always kind of just rolls over and kind of rolls with punches, and that's how he gets by, and it's perfectly fine with him, but I don't really roll over. And now there's kind of two of us in the house that don't roll over, and those kind of conflicting tides kind of clash a little bit.
Okay. And we can go back to your dad, but do you want to take a minute and kind of focus on your mom right now? Like what your relationship is like with her?
Yeah. I used to work at her bakery, and it was kind of like a weird, like, kind of like same situation. Like, it's the bakery that I, as like young as I can remember, grew up kind of being in and around, whatever, but now I'm on payroll, so from a slightly different perspective, slightly uncomfortable, and technically I'm like, she's my boss, but she's also my mom, so I would get away with some things, like, if the customer is really rude, I would give it back to them. Mainly, I think it came from a good place of, like, them not respecting and, like, being rude to a place that I hold so closely in my heart, but at the same time, it's one of her employees telling off a customer, so she can't really tell me to not do it. And it's just kind of those clashing ideals of me saying, like, we shouldn't put up with people bad-mouthing this thing that represents our family, and her being like, in order for this thing that represents our family to keep operating, you can't be telling customers off. Which I think both sides have their merits, and I can kind of take a step back and see that, but when I'm clashing with her, and we're both being strong-headed, with both of those defensive walls up, no one is ever going to be able to peek over and see the other side.
So it sounds like you have a lot of pride in your family business.
Yeah, I think I just have a lot of pride in general, and I think my mother does too, and I think I get it from her.
Well, I think pride can be a good trait, and I think you probably see it a lot in the way that you go about your life, your relationship with your friends, how it sounds like you're a really great worker, and you do put a lot of effort into the way that you work at your mom's shop. So that's all something to be super proud of. And have you ever tried to have a conversation with your mom about, it seems like a sense of animosity going on there?
I wouldn't even say animosity so much as it is, like, just frustration, and I'm kind of at the point with it that she's so strong-headed and defensive, and I feel like I've been going to therapy for a long time. I feel like I would be able to change and, like, implement some stuff that we could, like, work on, but I think she might be too strong-headed to do so. So I'm just kind of like, I know if I keep going and keep kind of pushing it, I'm going to end up at a point where I don't really want to have a relationship with her later, so I just kind of try to roll over as much as possible, kind of take after my dad, so that I can maintain a relationship, especially like while I'm at home, and like when I have grandkids and stuff like that. I want her to be around, but with the way things are going, I feel like there will be a time where the frustration and animosity, I guess, will build up. The frustration will evolve into animosity so much that we're going to have a breaking point in our relationship.
That all sounds super overwhelming. And it also sounds like you have kind of put a lot of thought into your relationship and the way that it could work out, and also in your head, like, why it maybe couldn't work out. Have you ever thought about maybe just kind of trying to tackle it one step at a time, and maybe not try to focus so much on the future and your grandkids and all those things, and instead just try to focus on your relationship with her right now?
I just think that anytime I do try it, I have tried to bring up, like, hey, you did this and it was, like, really frustrating or something like that. She just gets very defensive, which, to her defense, whenever she tries to bring up something that I've done that's super frustrating towards her, I'm immediately defensive as well. And I just feel like that's the cycle that's been bred in, so much so that, again, I feel like I'd be able to change it, but I don't know if she would change it, or even if it's, like, fair of me to ask her of that. Ask that of her.
Ask her to change the way that she acts sometimes?
The way that she reacts to those situations and therefore acts going forward. And right now we're at a point where it's just kind of like not necessarily neutral, but as long as like she's the main hard-headed one and I just kind of roll over, then like it won't really, the frustration won't evolve into animosity as quickly.
And can you think of an example of maybe a time where you feel like she reacted in a good way?
I mean, like I think the main point of it is when something happens, and it's negative, that's when she acts. And when something positive happens, like I come and try to say something positive, or even sometimes when she says something positive, I feel like we, again, kind of have the same reaction of just not really reacting. It's a common thing in my household to say something, and just nobody says anything back. And it's just kind of a normal thing.